then we'll have Fadumo to come talk to us from DEIB in decision making, so also from that inclusivity perspective. So.
Hello everyone. My agenda today is DEIB and evident decision making in political context. Diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging are critical components for fostering just and sustainable society. In the context of political decision making, DEIB serves as a framework that ensures representation and fairness. It's essential for policymakers to recognize the diverse backgrounds and experience of the constituents they serve. They actively seeking input from underrepresented groups. Political leaders can create more inclusive policies that affect the need and aspiration of the entire population. A fundamental aspect of DEIB is the commitment to listen all voices, particularly those that have historically been marginalized. This involves creating platforms for dialogue and engagement where individuals from different backgrounds can share their perspectives. By prioritizing these voices, decision makers can gain a more comprehensive understanding of the issues at hand and develop solutions that are equitable and just. We have data, so what? According to police hate crime in Finland, 70% of hate crime reports were related to suspect crimes motivated by ethnicity or nationality. 62% of people with Muslim background have experienced discrimination in Finland in the last 5 years. 66% of people with an African background have experienced discrimination in Finland in the last 5 years. And if you have different names, it's not easy to get invitation to job interviews. Structural barriers often hinder the participation of marginalized communities in political process. These barriers can include discriminatory laws, socioeconomic disparities, and lack of access to resources. To promote DEIB, it's critical to identify, dismantle these obstacles, ensuring that all individuals have equal opportunities to engage in political discourse and influence decision-making. The ethical use of power is a cornerstone of DEIB in politics. Decision makers must critically assess how power is distributed, exercised within their institutions. This involves questions: who holds power, whose interests are prioritized, and how policies impact different communities. By adopting an ethical framework, political leaders can work toward a more equitable distribution of power, fostering a sense of belonging among all constituents. In conclusion, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging are not merely aspirational goals. They are essential for creating a fair and sustainable and well-being society. In political decision-making, embracing DEIB means ensuring that all voices are heard, dismantling structural barriers, and examining the ethical implication of power dynamics. By prioritizing these principles, we can build a more inclusive and just political landscape that truly represents the diverse fabric of our society. We need to think, is DEIB a threat or opportunity? What is ethically sustainable value and management for evidence-based decision-making in political context? How can international agreements can be implemented to prevent polarization? In short, it was all here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That is such an important topic. And one of the reasons why I was passionate to run is because I believe we should really embrace even more Helsinki as an international multicultural capital city. And I feel the more we do that, the more we embrace that, the more thriving we will be, not only for the citizens who are currently here. That's important. It's always excruciatingly painful, and it's always that tolerance blindness when we hear these statistics, and it really, I don't know, did anybody else feel like hit like kind of stings you somewhere in your core, in your heart? So that's where this passion comes from, right? There's work to be done. We got to do the work. I believe we can do the work. There has been an immense, well, I don't know, how can we say an immense? But I remember when I left Finland in 2010 and I came back in 2017, and I was only meant to be here for a weekend, but I went to the startup event. And startup, actually, one good thing about the startup circles is that they are, I feel, more inclusive than maybe other parts of society. So that's where I got reintroduced to Helsinki, my old hometown. I was like, oh, it's international now. Oh, I can move back. So I moved from London to here, but we still have a lot of more work to do to be as kind of inclusive and multicultural and really embrace that identity as a capital city.